Assalamu alaikum, everybody. Thank you for joining our CAIR California Muslim Day at the Capitol training. My name is Arfa Simji, and I'm the State Chapter Manager at CAIR California. Before I dive deep into the presentation, I would like to ask everybody if you have any questions, so please put it in the chat box under questions, and everyone has been placed on mute, so it would provide us the opportunity to speak. And hopefully we'll answer all your questions towards the end of the presentation. If for some reason we're unable to answer them, we'll let you know and direct you to the right resources to get the answer. To begin, the purpose of Muslim Day at the Capitol is to engage with your state lawmakers on various issues that impact not only the Muslim community, but the California community at large. This provides you the opportunity to develop advocacy and civic engagement skills when you meet with lawmakers and to create a relationship with them. CAIR California, the 4 offices, we gather together to prepare this event for you, and hopefully it will be very fruitful and eventful. Our event is located at the California State Capitol, and at the West Lawn. The offices have organized transportation to attend the event, and for some reason you're unable to coordinate with the offices, you're more than welcome to go on your own. However, it's very important for you to pre-register to allow you to be able to attend legislative meetings and get the necessary material and information to prepare you for the event. Our Muslim Day of the Capitol agenda, this is a rough idea of what it's going to look like. In the morning between 8:30 to 9:30, folks from various locations will be arriving, whether they're coming from bus, flights, driving. And during this time, folks will be checking in, having a light breakfast, and for San Diego, Los Angeles, and San Francisco Bay Area folks, they will be pre-registering before they arrive to the Capitol. And the details and information will be provided to them. The program will begin around 9:45 a.m. and you'll have the opportunity to meet with your groups before heading to legislative meetings. Along with the legislative meetings, there will be a few town hall meetings. We'll also be having 2 workshops. One is regarding youth, and the other one's about leadership. We'll have more detailed information, hopefully being posted on the website in regards to that. We do have Capitol tours. However, this year it's self-guided. We'll have maps available via the guidebook and information and history regarding the Capitol in the guidebook as well too. There will also be having a press conference that will be held around 11:30 a.m. at the west side of the Capitol. And this year we'll have a guest speaker, Linda Sarsar. She'll be speaking around 1:30 p.m. along with other guest speakers. And then we'll have closing remarks at 2 p.m. and we'll conclude with group pictures. And I believe the LA folks will be staying a little bit longer, and then we'll be departing afterwards. And also we'll be providing lunch for everybody and space for the Hur prayer. We have a guidebook app which will help with all the information that will be provided about the event. It allows you to connect with other members, customize and track your schedule of meetings, receive real-time updates such as room changes or last-minute detailed updates, access to the fact sheets, meeting scripts, maps, and other resources. Your local office will provide you the information and download the app before the event to allow you the opportunity to navigate and get familiar with the app. It's already up and live. Hopefully if you've registered, you're ready to go. You can more than welcome to get onto Guidebook. And hopefully the offices will be sending out the information to you guys soon so you can get familiarized with it. For those who don't are not tech savvy or don't are not going to be using their phone on the day of, offices will be providing hard copy materials that will be provided that will include the agenda, fact sheets, meeting script, meeting survey, post the legislative meeting, and event survey. And I'll go into a little bit more detail later in the slides. The legislative folder will be provided to the group leader to leave with the elected officials after the meeting. It's going to have a lot of CAIR materials. So after your meeting is over, it's like a little gift that we're going to leave behind to our elected officials. We're going to talk a little bit about the legislative meetings and the basics. The main focus of MDAC are the legislative meetings, and I'll explain how to be better prepared for these meetings. The etiquettes, we would like dress business professional or just business casual as would be recommended. However, the folks will be getting MDAC t-shirts and you're more than welcome to wear that. It's very important that you attend these meetings on time. Being late will not guarantee the full amount of the time promised with the elected official. And it's also unprofessional and reflects badly on you as well as the organization. You're more likely to be taken seriously if you are punctual. Speak concisely and professional. You only have about 15 to 30 minutes depending the time allocated for the meeting. And so make sure that you stay focused on the issue. And you're welcome to tell stories and be mindful of the time. Give everyone in the group a chance to speak and participate, especially those with less experience. And we'll dive a little deeper about how the meeting will be run. And please allow the elected officials a chance to respond to your comments and questions and to engage with you. Important of using respectful language. These are some examples of words and languages that you should avoid to prevent any from being offensive, and some words, alternative words to use, and just some helpful guides. This will help ensure that you get your message across in a respectful manner that is appropriate at the Capitol. So, you know, anything that's negative, you know, like fentanyl, illegal alien, crazy, these type of jargons we want to avoid, and then try to frame the words in a very positive manner that respects respectfully. I'm going to turn it over to Fayaz. He'll introduce himself and he'll speak to you a little bit about the meetings and the legislative agenda.
Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. This is Fayaz, the Policy and Advocacy Manager at CAIR Los Angeles. So real quick, I'll go over some of the sample meeting script that you will be handed beforehand, before you go into your meetings, inshallah. So we recommend folks to, you know, follow the script to the best of your ability, but also add a few trinkets if you have some personal narratives. We will provide a meeting script to help guide your conversation, stay on topic, and ensure that each community member takes a turn in speaking. Each group that you will be grouped with, you will have a legislative lead, and we will lean on that individual to, inshallah, you know, divvy out tasks and actually introduce everybody during those meetings. Even if you've done this before, it is a good guide. Divide the conversations among the group. For those legislative leads, you want to make sure that you thank we want to thank the elected official or their staff for having the meeting with you. You want to give a little background on MDAC, the purpose of the visit, discussions of each bill, and you want to let the elected official or staff member of the elected know what the bill does, what are we asking for, and in particular, we're asking folks to support the bill, which is they either vote for the bill or they co-sponsor the bill. And we should explain why they should support these bills. With the legislative fact sheets that we're going to be providing, it's going to provide statistics, so you want to mention those statistics. And in addition to going off the legislative fact sheets that we'll be giving, you want to also add some personal narratives. How is it that these bills affect you on a personal level? Or maybe there was an experience you had experienced either with police brutality, or you have a family member that was formerly incarcerated, or one of the bills we're going to be talking about is ethnic studies, how ethnic studies is something that's very important and near and dear to your heart and your community's heart. And finally, you want to ask if they will support the bill. At the end of the meeting, you want to always make that ask, because sometimes folks have forgotten to make that ask. You want to make sure you make that ask if they're going to support the bill. I'll provide you with a fact sheet for all the bills that you will be advocating for at the meeting. It will include brief background on the issue, what the bill is about, and explain what is being asked of the California legislators. At the bottom, it has resources that you can use to do research and learn more about the issue. It also includes contact information of the legislative staff in charge of the bills so that you can follow up with them and keep track of what's happening with the bill. You can also follow up with your own elected officials and make sure they are aware of the bills as well. So one of the things that you'll notice during the meetings is those elected officials and their staff, they will always ask you, who's the author of the bill and who do I need to contact to support this bill? So in the bottom of the legislative fact sheet, it's going to have those contact information available for those offices. And finally, you want to make sure to be aware of who is sponsoring the bills and to thank them instead of asking for their support, otherwise you look unprepared. So there are 3 bills we're going to be advocating for, and each one of those bills has a lead sponsor or lead author. And I've known and I've seen personally folks going into meetings telling someone that's an elected official, please support this bill, please support this bill. But in actuality, the person that they're asking to support this bill is the one that wrote the bill itself. So it makes us look very unprepared. So you want to make sure you look at the legislative fact sheets. It's going to let you know who is the author of the bill and who are the co-sponsors. Now with the legislative agenda, these are the bills you will be advocating for and asking for support. The first bill that we're going to be advocating for, and you will have that readily available for you beforehand, is AB 392, which is the California Act to Save Lives, and it's authored by Dr. Weber and Representative McCarty. This bill would make clear that police officers should only use deadly force when they do not have other options. Alhamdulillah, this bill just went through committee. Before a bill goes on the floor for everyone to vote, it has to go through various committees, and it went through the Public Safety Committee, and it was just passed through the committee, alhamdulillah, earlier this week. So it's going to be going to the floor, inshallah. So we're going to be advocating for that bill. The second bill we're going to be advocating for is AB 331, which is the Ethnic Studies Act, and that is authored by Representative Chu. This bill would add the completion of a 1-semester course in ethnic studies in either the subject of social studies or English to the high school graduation requirements. So what we're asking elected officials to do here is, if they vote for this bill, it would mandate that every high school, not only public high schools, but also private schools and charter schools, that a student has to at least go through 1 semester of ethnic studies in order for them to graduate from high school and get their high school diploma. So this is what that bill does. And the final bill is ACA 6, the Free to Vote Act, which is authored by Representative McCarty. This amendment to the California Constitution would restore voting rights to people on parole in California. There are over 50,000 individuals that are on parole that currently do not have the right to vote in the state of California. And what we're asking for is that the state of California recognizes that these parolees have the right to vote, inshallah. Now, this bill is actually very unique because it's not just a bill, it's going to be amending the Constitution of the state of California, so it has to actually go through a much longer process. So let me briefly tell you about this process. It has to pass through the Assembly floor, then it has to pass through the Senate floor, then the governor of California has to sign it to allow it to be put on the ballot for 2020, where at least 2/3 of those that vote in 2020 have to pass this amendment to the Constitution. And inshallah, we'll be able to do that here in the state of California. There's a lot of Muslim sisters and brothers that are formerly incarcerated, and we saw that in the state of Florida, they passed a similar amendment to their constitution. And finally, the fact sheets will be posted on the website by Monday to allow you the opportunity to prepare well for these bills, inshallah. So Sister Arifa, she'll be posting those on Monday, inshallah, so you could look over them. End of meeting procedures. You want to make sure that you thank the staff and all the members that you met for the meeting. Make sure to give them the CAIR materials with them. That's a legislative packet, so it has all the details for the bills. You want to make sure you leave that with the office that you meet with. Be sure to take your elected officials and staff's contact information. You can find their business cards at the front of the office, or some of them will give them their business cards to you during the meeting or before the meeting starts. You can also ask them to give you contact for the district staff so that you can connect with your local office. Also, you can ask to take a picture at the end of the meeting. Afterwards, complete the meeting survey with your group, inshallah. So we will have those meeting surveys handed out also. So those that are legislative leads in those various meetings, you want to make sure you have those post-meeting docs filled out, inshallah. Now, with regards to the sample meeting report, which you will be filling out after the meetings, this will be a brief recap of what happened in the meeting, and it helps us keep track of the meeting experiences of everyone. Also, be sure to put down if you have any concerns that you had during the meeting, such as if the staff behaved inappropriately. You can also fill out this form through the guidebook app. So remember, make sure you download the guidebook app because this will make your life much more simpler, inshallah. Now I'm going to hand this back to Sister Arifa, who's going to go over a few logistical issues on how to join MDAC, inshallah.
Thank you, Fayaz. If you have not done so in joining MDAC, please go to our website at caircapitalday.com. And if you have any questions specific to transportation, additional information, please contact your local CAIR office. I believe I have all the contact information here available. This recording will be posted online, hopefully by tomorrow, early Monday. All the fact sheets and documents will be posted as well by Monday. So you'll have a good week to practice and review all the information. Reach your local CAIR office for additional questions. I have answered quite a few questions already so far via the chat. If you have any additional questions, please have that coming through. There is a couple of announcements that some of the local offices have shared with me. San Francisco Bay Area will be having in-office training all of next week, I believe Wednesday, Thursday, Friday at 7 p.m. and then they have one on Saturday at 1 p.m. All of next week. Let's see, is there anything else? CAIR LA will have some more details they'll be sending out to their folks regarding flights. Those who are flying out of Orange County and LAX, they have to be at the airport at 5 a.m. If you're flying out from Ontario, you have to be at the airport at 4:30 a.m. Everything will be prepared for you when you arrive at the airport. They'll have your boarding pass and all the necessary things to prepare you for MDAC. Let me see. Let me see if there's any questions. There are some questions regarding the bills. So our primary focus on the bills is the ones that we've presented today, and that's what the conversation will be structured around. We will not have the time or the capacity to talk about other bills, and we are tailoring this so that it's an effort for not only one individual, but the group be on the same page and have that conversation about those bills that we want to advocate on that day. The other questions I think that are coming through, and I did mention the webinar will be posted on the website. Are there any other questions?
So I would also add that for that individual that asked about being able to ask any questions about other bills, the reason why we are focusing on 3 bills is because we're going to have a limited amount of time to speak with the elected official or their staff. So we're maximizing, even 3 bills that we're talking about is going to maximize that time also. So what I would say for those individuals that want to talk about any other bills, contact your local CAIR office and let them know about that bill. And if they're having in-district meetings with those state representatives, you can go and attend those meetings with them and to advocate for those pieces of legislation aside from the 3 bills that we are advocating for, inshallah.
They're asking a question about Guidebook. The app is called Guidebook. We don't have I don't have the code, but if you do a search and do 8th Annual Muslim Day at the Capitol, you should be able to find it there. The offices will be sending you out links and information to download it. I can try to find a link right now, and I can send it to you momentarily. Okay, I'm going through some of these questions right now. There's quite a bit of questions. Give me a moment. Let's see. The event starts at 9:45 at the Capitol and end by 3 o'clock. A lot of folks will be leaving early in the morning from their location, whether it's 4, 5, 6, and then be arriving via bus, plane, or car. As they arrive, we will ensure that everyone's present before we begin the program by 9:45. Let's see. Regarding specific about your legislative meetings, I would definitely contact your local office in regards to the specifics. We will be providing breakfast and lunch, so you're more than happy to bring additional food and snack if it's not sufficient. And then I think that's it. Fayaz, do you have anything else to add that we might have missed?
No, nothing that's coming up in my head right now.
Okay. I think this meeting ended up being quite quick and short, and we covered quite a lot of information. I will leave the chat system open for your questions, and I will continue answering them one by one. We want to take the opportunity to thank everyone for attending. Once again, I'll leave the slide open for the each office contact information so that you can reach out to them by tomorrow and ask those additional questions. Thank you so much, everyone, for attending.